Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everyone could hear me. Happy Monday to you. This is Brenda Perryman, and welcome. We have a great show for you this morning. I know we're running a little bit late, but the weather just changed. Those things happen. But there's going to be a great one act play, and I have a playwright here for you, and I have her assistant, and I have one of the actors from the play. I'm very excited to introduce the writer, director
Writer director.
of gameplay. I have the writer director Charity Clark Anderson. She's been on the show before, and I have Rhonda English, who is her assistant and also an actress.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, let's get it. Let's
Good
get
morning.
let's get up and let's get
All
going.
right, all right.
Okay, so Charity, this is your play that you're doing. Is this how many plays have you done?
Oh, I've done several plays. This is about my fifth actually.
That you presented?
That I put up, yes, produced, directed, written, yes.
What are some of the other plays?
Um, well, there was the conference, which was a couple of years ago. Then we had a series. One was called Sons, and the other one was called Daughters.
Sons and daughters. Do you have sons and daughters?
I have sons, which is based on a true story, the story of my life and my experiences with, well, actually my stepsons, yes, and how that whole thing came about.
Right, right, right. Do you act also?
I've acted, yes. I'm an actress. I'm leaning more towards the writing and directing. I'm finding that's my actual niche now. But yes, I'm still acting now. I'm still acting if you need me. I'm still around.
Okay, she's putting it out there. She's putting it out there. Now, Rhonda, you've been acting a long time, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I've been.
Tell us a
acting
little bit.
quite a bit.
Where'd you go to high school?
Oh, okay. Now I'm gonna expose myself, but I went to Cass.
Uh
Went
huh.
to Cass, and then at Michigan State and USC, and back to Michigan State.
Can we talk louder?
Okay.
She's an actress.
I'm
And I'm
sorry.
sitting up. She
I
just
know.
died. By the
And I'm
time you
whispering,
got to
I'm like,
Michigan
okay.
State,
I know
it was
everything just went. Okay,
yeah,
I'm
it
sorry.
was non-existent.
I'm so sorry.
So,
I'm awake.
because I remember the first time I saw you or met you, you were in Beauty Shop
Oh yes, yes.
a
Yeah,
long time.
yeah, that was fun. That was like a USA tour, and
Yeah.
it was all kinds of experiences that I had never experienced before. It was
And,
wonderful.
and my former student Teal played
Yes, she
the
did.
owner of the beauty
Yes,
shop. Yeah,
yes,
that was Teal. We're still in contact.
yes.
Uh huh.
She's beautiful.
And yeah, she's actually from the Lansing area, but she
Hmm.
ended up going to Highland Park and graduating from Highland Park.
Mm.
In fact, I coached her audition over the phone. She
Oh,
said, "I'm auditioning for a play called Beauty Shop." And,
She was
wow.
perfect too. She was perfect for the role. She was
so
great.
yeah, that was really an interesting show. And what are some of the other shows you've done?
Oh wow. I did a lot of plowshares, a lot of
Which ones? Which shows?
oh my gosh. Okay, I'm sorry. Then I went blank.
The August Wilson.
Yeah, lots of August Wilson. We had a series. We did those. I did Fences. I did
Two
we did
Trains.
no, I did Bourbon at the Border, and oh, what is that show that we did?
Shaking the mess out of misery.
Okay.
and East Texas Hot Links. Woo! I played Charles that. I love that play. Just lots of things. And then my most recent was Menopause the Musical. I was the original Detroit cast in Menopause the Musical.
Oh, was Linda Boston in that?
She was my replacement when I
Oh,
injured
okay.
myself in that. She was understudy, and then she took over the role.
Oh, and she's been with it forever.
Yes, she has. Yes, she
Forever,
has.
forever,
Yes, she
forever.
has.
Well, gameplay.
Gameplay.
Gameplay is Charity's new play. Tell us about it.
Gameplay. Well, we're dealing with the subject of divorce in gameplay. It's the story of John and Michelle Sutton. And it takes place during 2010, which is when we were going through that really bad economic crisis. And it affected a lot of marriages at that particular time. People were struggling during that time. Of course, John and Michelle, they were affluent. He had a very good job. He was a chemical engineer. However, he was laid off his job. And that usually affects, when a man gets laid off his job, that can affect a family. So this is the story of his layoff and what happens with the family structure during that particular time.
Layoffs. Yes, money. They say a lot of times people break up over money or the money that tests you.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about. It's the test. It's the games people play to get ahead, to stay ahead. How do you get in the game? How do you become part of what's going on? What are you willing to sacrifice, give up to be part of the game? And we examine John and Michelle as they go through this process.
Now, when you say the game, that's a metaphor for what?
In this particular case, it's for Michelle, it's climbing the corporate ladder. She's going up the corporate ladder, he's going down. Okay. How does he get back in the game after being laid off? What does he have to do to get back in the game? And how does she continue in the game and climb up the corporate ladder? And what is the game that they're playing between the two of them? It's all kinds of gameplay going on. And then we have other people. What games are they playing? The people that influence their lives. How do they fit into the game? So everybody has a game that they're playing. Unfortunately, it's all about a game. We seem to, instead of being honest and forthright, sometimes it's all about the games that people play. And that's what we examine in this particular
And
play.
sometimes people can fall into traps. They can fall into just numerous situations. And, I think about Facebook when you talk about this. I think about how some people have this Facebook persona, and it may not really be their life, but that's what they want people to feel.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's their life.
Exactly. I feel that same way sometimes too when I look at Facebook and nobody could have that ideal of a life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you never
Yeah.
know, though. You never know. No, I'm serious. You never know. I mean, who are we to sit up and say, "Wow, their life seems so good"? I mean, I would hope everybody doesn't put everything on Facebook. You shouldn't put. I think people reveal a little too much.
I
sometimes.
understand the
I
persona
agree.
that they put forth. Sometimes it just causes you to question. It's a thing. Let's just put it that way. The persona.
Well, yeah, some people just come off like everything is hunky dory, and it just might be.
It
I
might
mean,
be.
it might be, but a lot of times, if you know the person, that's when you would sit up and say, "Wow, they're really lying now." I'm serious. But to sit up and say somebody you may not know, and you say, "Oh, their life couldn't be like that," that's kind of crazy. I mean, to me, because it's. Oh, let's see, who all's in this? We have Latanya Underwood, right?
Yes.
She plays one of the supporting characters. Our couple is played by Camilla Hicks, who's a fine actress, and Mr. William McLean.
And we have William waiting in the wings, so we'll be talking to him shortly. I'm excited to talk to him.
And our other actor is Miss Andy Mazareth. She's actually wonderful too, a great improv actress.
Oh, wow, that's great. That's great. So, marriages. I've been married a couple of times myself. You don't get married thinking it will break up. You get married thinking you two will be together forever.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that so?
This is what we hope that people are when they go into a marriage. We hope that that's the commitment that they make, and it's a lot of hard work. You know, the good times, and you have to take those vows seriously. I do believe the good times, the bad. You know, you go in there with a commitment, and that's why you have to be careful who you marry. You have to be very, very
Well,
careful.
sometimes you don't know people till you live with them.
This is true too.
Yes.
This is true
Yes.
too.
Yes.
And then things start like things like layoffs, or sometimes the real pieces of them come out, or sometimes they could have some baggage from the past that has crept back into their
This
lives.
is
There are
true.
Yes.
numerous things.
This is
Yes.
true. But you go in with the commitment that this is going to last for
Absolutely,
this
absolutely.
yeah, you have to go in with the commitment. It may not always turn out that way, but it has to you have to at least go in. Because I've heard some people say, "We're going to see how this is going to work out." No. You go in with a full-hearted commitment.
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. You know, you're really thinking and you're imagining. I know, I would imagine, I say, oh, yeah, you know, but when I was in college and I knew I was getting married that summer, I used to do silly things like write down, we're going to use this kind of toothpaste and I'm going to use this kind of detergent and all of this. I used to be in this world that I didn't know anything about marriage, you know, but
It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of
it
hard
is
work.
hard work.
And, you know, and we hopefully they the marriage will last. But as you say, sometimes it just does not work out. And in this particular case, in gameplay, we'll see what happens with this marriage. You have to go through a lot
Yeah.
of problems, a lot of trials and tribulations, but we'll see how it turns out in the end.
Yeah, that's important. Now, what has been your biggest challenge directing this? Oh, wait, let me start back at writing this. Is this something you had put together in your head first, or?
This has been a long time project. In church. Shout out to my church, Christian Tabernacle, Southfield, Michigan. Pastor James O'Morman. He taught a lot.
CTAB.
Yeah,
I was his
CTAB.
wife's teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, anyway.
Oh,
Anyway.
wonderful.
Wow.
Um, Pastor did a series a few years back on marriage, and it just really affected me. And he wanted me to put something together, a skit about marriage for our one of our sessions, and I did that, and that got me to thinking. And from the skit, I expanded on the whole notion of a marriage, and what keeps a marriage together, and what are the obstacles that happen in a marriage.
Okay, and so this came out of it?
This came, yeah, this came from that particular skit, from the assignment that Pastor gave me to write. And from there, I just expanded and expanded and worked it until we're here at Gameplay.
Are you involved in the drama ministry there?
Um, actually, I was one of the first members of the drama ministry. I helped to organize the drama ministry, and it's a very strong ministry. I'm still involved with it right now. We have wonderful leadership there now. It's been passed on to a wonderful writer and director herself, Lillian Washington, but I'm there to assist her.
Okay, I had a couple of students in the DeLorean Cotton.
Yes, he's a member of our church.
He's
and,
I was his
yeah.
drama
You were his
teacher.
drama teacher. So, well, well, well.
And Candace Ross.
Candace, yeah.
hers, yeah.
She's wonderful as
Yeah,
well.
and yeah, I've seen several of my students, Jaja. I've seen several of them over there in the shows.
Oh, wow, yes. Wonderful drama ministry. C-Tab.
Yes, I pass it all the time on my way to my mother's nursing home is across the street. So I can't wait to talk to William in a few minutes. I'm going to talk to him, see his views on marriage. What are your views on marriage, Miss Rhonda?
Miss Rhonda? Miss Rhonda's never been married.
What are your views on it?
My views on I have good examples, sorta, kinda, because my parents are. I'm blessed that they're still alive, they're healthy, and they're strong, and they are like ride or die. You know, their relationship although they've been separated, he's remarried. I have other siblings in that, but they have never stopped that connection. And I
Really,
see
that's
that, and
great.
so I'm like, if I ever, I would always, want something like that, because they just, that love is just like, it's just there, and people don't
Friendship.
understand it. It's
I
just
think
there.
friendship is important in a
Yeah, it's just
marriage.
there. It's just there.
To be friends because I think on my first marriage, which I might have my children from, I think sometimes I started saying, gosh, if I wasn't married to him, I wouldn't even be his friend.
Yeah, see that. Yeah.
And that made me think this is so important to have that friendship going,
I believe that.
that ride or die thing that
Yes,
you
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
I think that is so important.
Yes. I've been married 27 years now to my wonderful husband, James Henry Anderson. We call him the facilitator.
Yeah,
He is
shout
so
out to James.
supportive. of
Yes, I've
everything
met
that
him.
I
He's
do.
very supportive, very supportive of you. And
Oh,
that's
yes,
so
he is.
important. That's wonderful. Very wonderful. So, what are your plans for your next show?
Well, I'm still writing. Okay, I have ideas for my next show, and we're gonna see where that takes me. So we're still in the writing process.
In the meantime, this play opens this week. It opens on Friday.
Friday, February 2nd, at Planet Ant Theater in Hamtramck. And that address is 2357 Kniff Street, and it's nice, small, intimate theater, black box theater, called Planet Ant. Actually, I was awarded. It's very interesting how I got an opportunity to work with Planet Ant. I was in. I entered a directors festival called
Black box.
no, Box Fest.
Box Fest.
Box Fest. And I had a 10-minute play there. It's a series of short plays by female directors. And they voted the favorite director. And I was voted favorite director of all it was like 10 directors of short plays. And I was voted favorite director.
Congratulations. So nice.
That was last year. And as a result of that, I got the opportunity to put up my one-act play at Planet Ant. So,
Okay, so
very honored to have won
that's
that.
the second and third. That's Friday and Saturday this weekend, the 9th and 10th, which is next weekend, and the 16th and 17th, which is the following weekend at Planet Ant Black Box Theater, 2357 Kniff in Hamtramck, and tickets are only $10.
Only $10.
Only $10.
Great show for a great price.
And their website is www.planetant.com. If you want to call, get some information, 313-365-4948. And I'm excited, but we're going to go to a quick break and we're going to bring William up here so we could talk to him. We'll be back in just a moment. I am back. I am back with Mr. William J. McLean, the third. The third.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Speak up. Give me
Yes,
that
ma'am.
actor's voice. Give me that actor's voice.
That's exactly correct.
When
That's
I was
exactly correct.
teaching acting, I always told my students, projection is my life.
Amen.
In case Mike isn't around, you could still hear me
That's right.
and stuff. So tell me about yourself, Mr. McGlenn.
I am a 27-year educator,
Where?
Detroit Public Schools.
What schools?
Right now, presently, I'm at Detroit School of Arts, which I love working with the students, the staff, and I'm also working with OCC.
What do you do with DP? I mean, with the School of the Arts.
I
What
am
do you teach?
I am the 12th grade English educator. I deal with the folks getting ready to see the world and train them and prepare for them to reach to the next stage.
Wow, that's nice. I taught high school for 39 years.
All right
so
now. Okay.
I know. I loved it. I loved it. But
Good.
you know, and so you teach English, and then you're at OCC,
OCC, teach Sunday school on Sunday. So I teach because I love it. I love it.
right, right. You must be good at it. And do you do any drama at all over at the school?
Ironically, the last time I did drama, that's why I know this wonderful young lady here. I worked with Plowshares almost for 5 or 6 years before I got married. And I was into a few plays, Sarah Ella, and then Ain't Misbehaving, just to name a couple of them. Played multiple parts and enjoyed it. Enjoyed the run I was with them.
Was it here or on tour or what?
It was in here, and then also we did some with one of the shows, Ain't Misbehaving. We did that in Lansing too.
Was
At the,
Augustus on that show?
Augustus, good friend, yeah, good man, wonderful actor, good friend. He was in there. Where Linda Boston was in the
Yeah.
play with. So I got to have the honor to be with some great actors and working with a great team.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, what other shows have you done? Plays?
Plays, in fact, the play that we did was a gospel play. My last play with Plowshares, before I made my transition.
What was it?
What was the name of that play?
Um, he is Christmas.
He is Christmas, and I played Joseph, and we talked about the Christmas, the birth, the meaning of Christmas, and it was a musical. It was a musical.
Was a fantastic singer as well.
Well,
Oh, well, that's well. He had to have been ain't misbehaving and
yes,
all
ma'am.
of
There
that.
was a lot of dancing and singing together.
Right, right, right. Absolutely,
Yes, it was.
absolutely.
Yes, it was.
So, tell me about your character and gameplay.
John Sutton is a wonderful, desired future man. When I say that, his desire was to marry this woman, which he did, and to take care of her. He had a great job, a chemical engineer to be in fact, and then, like in the situation that we all know too well in Detroit, the factories went through a major change, and he lost his job, laid off. So it affected him at home financially, but also affected his way he looked at himself. Because, of course, we've known the typecast or the view or understanding that men are the provider, and he wanted to be provider, and that changed a whole lot in his life.
Oh, wow. Wow, I know the stress of it all. Now, have you ever been laid off?
Well, thankfully, God, knock on wood, anything around me have never been laid off, never been fired. There's a Jesus for sure enough, so no. But I understand him wanting to make sure that he takes care of his family, the people he loves, and the meaning behind being the man in the house, making sure he provides.
And because something has happened to thwart that, what feelings does he have?
Wow. Messes with his masculinity. To not be able to do the things he normally did before. He was a division manager, and so not only was he leading his household, but he also led at his job. So that was snatched at him, and then his wife raises the ladder. And so that's kind of hard on his male ego.
Yeah, that's the thing, egos. But sometimes I don't know how the play goes, but you, you you have to remember we're in this thing together.
Right.
It's all, you know, baby, you may be having a hard time right now, but we're in this together. But sometimes there's a strain on that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Yes,
that's what
ma'am.
happens in the play, exactly what you're saying. Instead of being in together, they seem to drift
Right.
apart because of the current situation, economic situation.
Now, does this couple have children?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They have three wonderful girls that he loves so much. And once again, bothers him because dad can't provide as much as he did prior.
Right, right, right. I see that. I'm just thinking about it because I've never been laid off either. I remember when I was going to major in drama and all this in school, my mother said, "You'll starve." Well, that was the reason I didn't starve because I'll never forget the first semester I was teaching at Highland Park and they started giving out slips. This was
Yes,
in
ma'am.
April.
Yes,
You got to
ma'am.
do it
Yes,
like
ma'am.
2 months ahead of time.
Right.
And I just said, Brenda, just swallow and go on up to the assistant principal and get yours. And I did. I said, "Hey, Mr. Miller, I'm here. Give me my layoff slip." And he said, "Oh, no, we don't have any other drama teachers." So,
Wonderful,
I mean,
wonderful.
that's how I got, that's how and I went home, I took on my mother. I said, "See,
Yes, ma'am.
that's why I didn't get laid off,
Amen.
But how has it been working the role?
It's been new again because when I say new again, the last time I acted actually on the stage was with Plowshares. So my wonderful friend got me out of the cobwebs, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the excitement, the feeling of it, and it brought back some good memories about being on stage.
Excellent, excellent. Do you plan to get back on stage again after this?
That's a good question. Yeah, I enjoy it. My work schedule is so crazy, but she's bitten the bug on me again. So
He's a ham. He'll be back. This has got those juices going again. Yeah, he's doing a wonderful, wonderful job and finding this character and he's the only man in the play, so he's got to represent well.
Oh, wow.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So you and your co-star, which one plays your wife?
My wife is Kima, and she plays a role of
Okay.
Michelle.
Camilla Hicks.
Camilla.
Hicks, yeah.
Do you all have scenes that you have to kind of go at it?
Oh yeah, this one significantly. That's why I encourage people to come out because it puts me into a person that is not me, but that's what acting is.
But that's what acting
Acting
is.
is. So yeah, we got a pretty intense scene. Pretty intense scene.
Because acting should not look like acting.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
right.
And I go to some plays and I see them acting. I say, oh no.
Cringing?
I see you acting at it
Yes, ma'am.
instead of becoming the character. And do you think that this will have any kind of message for people?
Wow, I think there's several messages in there because me myself being it's almost typecast in some areas. I am divorced and I saw a lot of memories in myself, not some extremes that John went to, but to get along and one way you see it, one way I see it, which comes with the pitfalls like I remember you saying earlier in the show about expectations
Right.
and not really looking at your expectation and my expectation. We just go into it because we're in love and ready to go.
Right.
So I saw some things and it brought back some memories, make me say, wow. I feel you, John, in some areas. I did feel him in some areas. So it took me to some places. And I believe that when people leave here, there's going to be some nice controversy and conversations.
Oh, that's great. That is great. Because we had an interesting discussion on my Friday show. I have a panel. And it was Sierra had put out something. She's told ladies to level up in order to get a husband. And we said, level up? What is that? Dress a certain way, do this, do that, do all these things to get a husband. Now, this is a woman who's first, I don't know if she and Future were ever married, but he talks about women like a dog and that. And she was single for quite a long time until she married Russell Wilson.
Right. Exactly.
She's married to him. And is there just a certain type of woman who has the opportunity, I'll say opportunity, to get married? I mean, do you have to be a certain way, or should people just fall in love with you? I mean, do you think? What do you think? Does a woman have to be a certain way? I always tell girls, I say, men bring just certain women home to meet their mothers.
Right. It's true. Very
You
true.
know.
Very true. Very true.
I mean, I'll never forget once when RJ, this the owner of the station, had the station over on Woodward. It used to be, and Snoop came to do a conference. I mean, not a conference, a concert. These girls, they had everything was out. It was like,
Yes.
Yes, of course.
well, but do they honestly think they'd get more than a one night stand dressing like that? I mean, I think people could dress any way they want, basically, but it's all in what you want out of it. You don't have to. What do they say? What is the old saying about? It's something like you don't give everything at one time. There's a saying. It's a saying. I can't get it on the back of my. Why buy the cow
If you can get
You
the
can
milk,
get the milk for free. I remember now.
Yes,
Yeah, got
indeed.
it.
Yes,
Got it.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
What do you think, Will?
Okay, I see the spotlight on me. I've been married before and divorced before. And my biggest understanding is the men have to, it's what they bring. When you said something about bringing the right woman home. We usually try to bring home somebody that's familiar or close to mom. Because
Really?
yeah, we do, and we're not visually, but also the characteristics, the love, the support. Do that because boys, what they want to know, they want to make somebody happy, and most importantly is mom. So the thing about it, and I've learned in my being married before, is it's the expectations what you bring to the table, and those girls you talked about. I don't put anybody in a bad situation like
Right.
that because it's how you bring up your
Right.
thoughts of household and for me, I believe you have to be a friend first. And sometimes we're in such a hurry to be married, we figure you're going to get away, but I'm going to get gospel with you. What's meant for you is meant for you. If
Right.
God has something for you, it's going to come. So take your time. And the Bible says, don't be quick for anything. With everything with prayer and supplication. So take your time, believe it, because I've got caught up. I'm like, oh Lord, she's so fine. Oh Lord, she look good. Yeah, and men are visual. So, but I've learned in the long run to get to know the person and find out about a friendship, because friendship, when the love falls out, the friendship holds
It
up.
holds up.
A
Yes, it
friendship
does.
can hold things together like no other. And I think that's very important. And especially knowing how to be a friend.
Yes, yes, very much so. Very much
Knowing how to be a friend. And wow, that's very important because I feel like this. I feel that everyone should love with their best.
so. Yeah.
I mean, if a lot of people they want to play games, I believe you should love with the best. If it doesn't work out, at least you gave it.
Amen.
Gave
Amen.
it your all.
Definitely, definitely,
Gave it your all.
definitely.
I think that's so important, and I think that should be something that's kind of understood by two people. Now, in these days, people are maybe more people are living together than when I was
Right.
initially coming up. Living together, see how it goes and
Trying it
stuff
out.
like that. But I've known people that have lived together, and then say one of the people passes away. Wait, now these two people have amassed. They've lived together, but they've amassed some possessions together, and maybe this house is in maybe his name,
Right.
but we've done this together, and then he passes away, and then the family comes in and say, "This is my daddy's house."
Exactly.
Picking
Exactly.
apart.
I've seen this happen.
Exactly. I've given that warning myself, as a matter of fact. You just don't know what's going to happen in the breakup. So, if you're going to make the commitment, make the commitment. I do believe. I think you should make the commitment, um, so you won't get tangled up that way. You should know. You should know. I don't really. I'm not so much for living together. I've never been a component. I mean, component of that. I know people do, but I think if you make that commitment, it's not just a romantic kind of thing, but it's also legal. I think that has a lot to do with it, the legalities.
Well, it works out for some people, though. I mean, I've known people who lived together for 10 years. They just, I think at this time in my life, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know if I'd ever jump the broom again, or would I just want a nice companion who could drive.
All right.
You've
that's
got a
fair
point
enough.
there too. You've got
I
a
mean,
point
not that
there.
my standards are low. I just, a
what you
companion who could drive, and we could have some fun together. I would
I
love
was
it.
really thinking about those first time commitments. I was thinking about those first commitments.
Because right now I just want to have fun. I'll help anybody out. We can lean on each other. But I don't know. I have what I have. They have what they have. But
But when you're starting off, it's a whole different
when
ball
you're
game.
starting,
Yeah.
when you're starting off, it's a different thing. Now, I'm excited about gameplay. Gameplay is the name of Charity's play. And William, he plays the husband in the play who gets laid off, and we don't know what else happens. It's a crapshoot.
Yes, it is.
Crapshoot.
Yes, it is.
And it opens this Friday night, February 2nd. It's this weekend, February 2nd and 3rd, February 9th and 10th, and February 16th and 17th. At what time?
8 o'clock. We start at 8 o'clock.
Hmm. Oh, that's good. I was just looking on here. I don't see a time. Oh, it is. Performance is 8 p.m. So get there early. And how many seats does it?
Now it's only a 50-seat theater. It's
That's
black box.
that's great. I love that
So you'll
because
be right
you
there.
feel like you're right on stage with the
yeah.
actors. It is wonderful. Well, I'd like to encourage you to break a leg,
Thank you.
and I'm glad you're getting you back into the game.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I look forward to everybody coming out, my friends at the staff at Detroit School of Arts, my church family.
Is Maya still there?
Oh, no, she's a cast, but she
Oh,
just came by
that's right.
last week for her birthday. Her birthday was last week.
Oh, okay.
So we still get to talk to him, and I know her friends, and everybody's good. So I encourage everybody to come out. My old military buddies, too. So I'm still in the Army.
What
so
branch?
I'm in Army with the 46th Military Police Command. So a little bit of everything I know. Huh?
You're doing everything.
Yes, he
You're
does.
doing everything. So everyone, I'll see you Friday. We have a great show this Friday at 9. We have the owner of the House of Vin, and she's bringing some wine samples. Yeah, that's what I say. And we have the owner of It's Okay, the T-shirt. We got a lot of things happening. A viewing for the Black Panther movie too. There's going to be a red carpet type thing. We have a lot of things on tap for this Friday. So I will see you then. Take care.